Hello everyone, this is the LEGO Speed Champions Porsche 911 GT3 RS, finally an 8-wide 911 2025 edition. This has 348 pieces. I paid $27 US for it. It's 27 euros, 23 pounds UK, or $35 Canadian. And there's what the real car actually looks like, the exact one that they're basing this off of. And I just want to acknowledge something right from the start, that a lot of people feel that the shaping of the headlight prints right there, ruined the entire car. I've heard it from a lot of people that ruins the entire car. And I just want to acknowledge that that is a prevailing opinion, and I respect it. And now I'm going to move on from it because I personally don't agree. I feel like I definitely when you look at these, if you compare it to specs of the real things, they're not tall enough. They're drawn a little bit too much from the front. So maybe it's a little bit, no, it's not even that much more accurate as viewed from the front. But when you look at it from the top, it's as if the picture was taken more from the front. It's foreshortened too much. And I think part of that might have had to do with the specs of what LEGO can print with their current process, where they can print on this piece, because it is a compound curve. And there are probably some limitations there that the graphic designer might not have been happy with. And, graphic designer might have wanted to make a longer, technically more, better proportioned headlight there, but, headlight print there. But again, I personally I don't find that to ruin the entire car, because most of the rest of it is good. There's another thing that I have more of a problem with personally, and I'll get to that. But just to start with, overall, I think this thing looks nice. Its build was also very nice. It's has some interesting build techniques, especially for the roof line back here towards the rear, the C-pillar, the rear window, the rear side windows, segments as well. All that is angled just very slightly, very subtly, which I find to be just very nice, very satisfying. This is, sorry about the sound there, but this is the closest thing that we've gotten to this body shape, right? The modern general body shape of Porsche. And I thought this was very nice for what it was. Didn't succeed at the nose though, didn't get enough swoopiness. Actually did a pretty good job back here given its size and scale and everything. But I mean, you can clearly see it. It's going for the same general sort of thing, but it's not that fair to compare the 6 wides to the 8 wides, especially since the 8 wides are accompanied as well by a significantly, vastly larger part library. Like, these pieces didn't exist when that first one came out. These pieces didn't exist, not from LEGO, from other companies, sure, but not from LEGO. Didn't exist when that last one came out. So there's a lot of stuff here that is relatively new. This does use some stickers, but it also has some prints as well. Some prints that were pretty satisfying to encounter, such as the Porsche logo right there. Now this, the GT3 RS, now that's a sticker, but that is a print, and that was nice to see. And you see that I'm in North America, where the worst quality of LEGO stuff tends to show up in the world, and our sticker sheets tend to be off. The base color of our sticker sheets tends to be not matched to the color of the plastic that it's supposed to be. And you can see that these are off as well, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as it's been. Definitely, like the S2000 was significantly worse. Worse than that, though, I think, quality-wise and color matching-wise, is just the variation between different parts of plastic. So there are no stickers here, and yet from some angles, hopefully you can see that there are some noticeable differences in color there, and I only call that out because we do pay premium prices for these, and people do tend to feel that LEGO is, the best in the world. They should be. This is the main thing that they've been doing. They've been making $2 billion a year, literal profit, net profit, just making plastic. So you do tend to expect good color matching, and companies that do much cheaper products, much less expensive products, are able to do better than this with their consistency. That's why I call that stuff out. But you can see it in some of the tiled areas. This is print right here as well. That's a nice one. Goes right up to the edge. And where's the other? There was another thing. Oh, yeah. These right there. That's a print. See that piece? Look at that. Right there. That's a print. It's actually printed on both sides. So it's two of the same piece. That's interesting. I like that they did that. It's kind of a nice little production hack they were able to create a single SKU. They were always worried about adding more SKUs, more part numbers, more bins that have to be shuffled around in their factory. So here, they just took the same piece, printed on both sides, and then you just grab from either one. And then I carefully aligned the stickers here on the back for the sides of the windows to reduce the gaps in there. That turned out nicely. I like these little fins, like how subtle they are, and the building that goes into making that happen. A lot of this I like. It does not have any interior like engine detail or something. That's the next level for Speed Champions, to get more engine detail in more of them. This has all of the major aero bits covered. As far as I can tell, just from looking at the car, the real car in general. And I do very much like the new trans black as opposed to the old trans dark brown. This just feels much more modern and right to me. This even looks good from the side. The color match there with the print is not the best, but it's not too bad. You know, it feels continuous enough. What I personally like about this the least, though, is this line right here. It's just so flat and so straight. I wish that they had gotten just a little bit of print on the sides there to just make that look a little bit less cut, just straight cut. Because, you know, that is the end right there. That's the end of the piece. This is another piece right here. So it just needed an additional print across the top, and maybe that wasn't in the budget or something. I don't know. That is a sticker right there. And then I like how they're doing the steering wheels. They're working harder to do better, more interesting steering wheel placements these days, which is nice. And it's nicely embedded kind of into the dash there. That just feels good, looks good to me. Interior itself, you know, it is what it is. Not all that much to see. And as usual, they are putting the driver position all the way down on the floor, so you get these holes here. It just doesn't bother me. You know, it's just part of the design approach. And I'm good with that. Overall, the whole thing looks really good to me. These don't kill it for me personally. Again, I respect the opinion of people who find that those just ruin the whole thing, because I understand that. I understand that, you know, every person is going to have something in a representation, a model representation that they need to see done right. And you know, these are the eyes. That can be very, very important. I just feel like so much of this is very clearly 911 GT3 RS in particular, that these don't tell me actually it's not. Just visually, it doesn't speak to my brain that way. So, you know, different folks are going to be hit by different details a little bit differently. But overall, I feel like this is very nice, but this is the biggest miss for me personally. It really stands out. So much of this is swooping around, with the exception of some of the cutouts and extractors here and stuff. But they're supposed to be like that. It feels right, except for just here, these corners. That's it. A driver wearing an all red suit, you know, racing fire suit, might feel a little bit wrong in something that's not a Ferrari, but this is actually correct. This is accurate for that Porsche track experience, where you get to take your more track focused high-end performance vehicle and actually try it out on a track. Yeah, this is just appropriate. And, you know, Porsche does use red in their racing schemes quite a bit. Quite famously. I mean, even this one's got it. It's part of their thing. But now this is the figure. That's it. Oh wait, no, that's not it. It also comes with a hairpiece. That's nice. Appreciate that. It's a good bonus. Cheap bonus for Lego, you know, to pay for, to put in there, and it's just good for us. To my surprise, he even fits in the seat with the hair. And look, there's a little bit of extra room there. He's not even touching the roof. So that's actually nice. Usually that's not the case. Usually you have to put the helmet on or no hair at all. Finally, these are the leftover pieces. I like the nice matte black alternates for the wheel inserts. And this is what the sticker sheet looked like. It's a fair number of stickers. It really wasn't too bad. None of them were difficult to apply. It was easy to align these in ways that made them look their best, you know, without major gaps and stuff. But it is too bad, definitely, about the color of the background not matching, at least in North America, where we get the worst stuff. Oh, I forgot to mention, that's a print, of course. Not matching the color of the plastic all that well. Again, this is 348 pieces for $27 US, 27 euros, 23 pounds UK, or $35 Canadian. And well, that's the same price that they've been for a little while now. I'm glad that they haven't raised the price again yet, but they're of course going to raise the price again. It was really, really rough there for a while when the prices were just jumping, but at least the quality of the builds and the complexity and the amount of stuff that you got there was going up a lot. And it hasn't stopped going up. Like this is uniquely good as a build. It does feel unique as a build, and it feels good to put together, and I'm happy to have it. But the quality issues are my biggest issue here. Just the differences of colors doesn't feel good. The more I look at it, the more I notice them. It almost feels like there are two different colors of that school bus yellow in there. Especially like down in here. It depends on the angle, because they do have some reflective flake in their stickers. So it depends on how the light hits and which of your lights hits it. You know, what the exact color profile of the light. It's a specific one from a specific angle, but even beyond the stickers, like this right here is a lot more opaque. This is less opaque. And then I can see some of the black through it. I can see some of the black through this, especially towards the stud, towards the back there. And as I have spent more and more time buying and reviewing sets for my JANG's Other Bricks channel, which is linked from the video description always, and from my main channel page as always, from all of them, they're all linked together. I've been experiencing more different bricks from different companies that are much, much cheaper, and yet somehow end up being better in quality many times. Much of the time they end up being better in quality than Lego, and we need Lego to be the best. If they're going to be the most expensive, they need to be the best. And right now they're just not the best at quality. They're absolutely the best at design, hands down, and at design for the common person, the regular person who doesn't want to have a bunch of tools and, you know, a bunch of third hands, fourth hands, fifth hand tools to put something together. Just so to where if you breathe on it, it's all going to fall apart. You know, this stuff is solid. What you hear in there right now is I put the helmet. You can actually see it rattling around. That's what's rattling around. Put the helmet in there. This is so solid for how intricate its design is. They are so good at design. Lego's designers are the best at what they do, especially given the constraints that they are forced into all the time. But the quality of the parts has got to get better, or the prices cannot continue to go up. And unfortunately, we're going the wrong direction with both of those things. And that's what stands out the most in the negative way to me with this. Everything else is pretty positive. Thanks for watching. Hope this was of value to you as a video, and I'll talk to you again soon.